Growing up in the early 2000s, the internet was a place to connect with others that had similar interests to you. There were thousands of niche websites that you could go to. There were all these cool, weird looking HTML sites that, to today's modern clean aesthetics, would be considered a mess. But it was ours. You would get home from school and actually browse the internet. But today, it feels different. Everyone uses the same five sites or apps: TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. Everything happens on these sites now. We essentially live in a monopoly internet where all the internet's traffic are controlled by a few companies. I know there's Reddit for forums and other sites, but there used to be a forum for every interest imaginable. I was really into paintball and lived on a forum called PB Nation. People would make posts about everything and anything about paintball. There was even a marketplace where you could buy, sell, and trade equipment. And yes, even back then, there were scammers. I was about 13 years old, and someone was selling a gun that should cost around $900, and they had it listed for around $300. I was so excited since that was typically outside of my price range. I got my mom to transfer my money from my savings account to a PayPal account that I set up and paid. Not minutes after sending the money, another user messaged me saying he saw me communicating with the seller and warned me that that was a scam. I did eventually get my money back, but it took almost 30 days, which is a lifetime for a kid. I also spent a lot of time with Instant Messenger and online games like Diablo 2, using dial-up internet where you had to connect to a phone line, and if somebody called while you were playing or online, the internet would drop and you would get kicked out of your game. But the internet didn't feel like it does today. It wasn't doom scrolling in a line at a supermarket, or even worse, where you see someone who's probably scrolling Instagram while driving the car next to you in traffic. In the past, it was about finding your space and sticking to it. Are you into something like yo-yoing? Well, there's a form for that. Yo-Yo Nation, where it's only a few thousand people that are crazy and dedicated to the craft of improving your skills. You would see reoccurring names on these forums and truly become internet friends without knowing who they are. Or even as late as early YouTube in 2006, before ads and monetization, before anyone knew that you could make money doing this. People just uploaded whatever. A skateboard trick that they just landed, their cat doing something weird, a comedy sketch they filmed with their friends. No one was optimizing thumbnails or begging you to subscribe. There's a video called Charlie Bit My Finger, and it got 800 million views because it was just a dad uploading a funny moment with his kid. That was it. Hell, I used to upload video montages with Linkin Park playing in the background of my friends and I driving RC cars off our parents' roof. Now, the number one career kids tell their teachers is they don't want to be firefighters, astronauts, doctors. They want to be YouTubers. The biggest thing I've seen change is how going viral has changed. If someone did something really cool, like posting a video of some yo-yo move that no one had ever completed before, people would rally behind the content. It would become something that people discuss and cheer for. Now, when something goes viral, it becomes a virus of copycats, mimicking what the person had done. It infects the site until every other scroll you make is the same trend, a few people getting a million views, with the bulk of what's uploaded going unwatched by someone who's just trying to replicate the horde in hopes that they get some sort of recognition. These trends are not something cutesy. Oh, look, everyone is using this quirky song. They know, these companies know that this works. People want to join the crowd, and it keeps everyone engaged, which fuels the true purpose of these sites now: ad dollars. Now, I don't think they should not make money. They have to keep the lights on. But when keeping you engaged is the entire product, everything else doesn't matter. The old internet forums cared about building a community because that's what kept people coming back. These platforms and sites care about one thing: how long we keep you here. Watch time, clicks, engagement. You're not a member of a community anymore. You're a data point being fed whatever keeps you scrolling the longest. And it works. These companies have teams of engineers and psychologists whose entire job is to keep you on the platform. They figured out every trick: notifications that pull you back in, algorithms that show you content that makes you angry because anger keeps you engaged. That little dopamine hit when someone likes your post. That's why you open Instagram to check one thing, and then 45 minutes later, you have no idea where you're at. You're up against teams of people who have spent years figuring out how to keep you there. Social media companies are not bringing people together out of the goodness of their hearts, like we were sold in the early days. The goal is simple: keep you on the site for as long as possible to sell you ads and your data. One of the worst tactics I've seen is Snapchat streaks. It's pure manipulation, rewarding you for using the app every single day with your friends. Any site or game that gives you a reward for daily use is trying to build a habit so you can't stop using it. So, what do I do about this? I've deleted all social media off my phone, not because I think that I'm better than anyone using it, but because I realized that I was opening the app without even deciding to. I would look at my desk, see my phone, grab it, and automatically scroll to wherever that app was sitting. And then I'm sucked in. I'm not going to sit here and tell you to delete everything and go live in the woods. I still use YouTube. I mean, you're watching this right now on YouTube. But I'm trying to be more intentional. I check Instagram maybe once a week instead of 50 times a day. I turned off all of my notifications except for texts and calls. The reels and shorts can wait. You don't need to get notified to go watch them. And honestly, the first few weeks sucked. I'd reach for my phone and have nothing to mindlessly scroll. I had to sit with boredom for the first time in years. But after a couple of weeks or so, something shifted. I started noticing things around me again. I got back into reading more. In January alone, I read 4 books. Small stuff, but it felt like my brain was mine again, and not these billion-dollar corporations. I don't know if it's something that we all will face when we get older. Have I just aged out of the internet? Or is it truly a worse place than before? Maybe both. Maybe I'm just romanticizing forums and the HTML chaos because I was 13 and everything felt new and exciting. But I also think something real was lost when we traded these niche communities for an algorithm feed. We used to choose what we wanted to see. Now it's all chosen for us. And I don't think we're better off for it. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments below. Do you remember the old internet? Were you around when it came out? What sites did you spend time on? Or am I just being nostalgic for something that really wasn't actually better? That's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.